and welcome back to Asian Pulse. I'm your host, Shivagni Naiker, and thank you for tuning into Asian Pulse Television, your innovative and educational network. Let's pray for the people in the interior who are on the edge of leaving their homes to get to safer grounds due to the forest fire. The number of COVID-19 infections in BC are going through the roof. The numbers have skyrocketed to 717 infections, and 77 people are in ICU. The people who are infected are the ones who refuse to take the vaccination, or the ones who got one and not their second one. Vaccinations are free, so go get yours. Happy Rakhi, also known as Raksha Bandhan, the Hindu festival to celebrate brotherhood and love. It is celebrated on the full moon of the month of Sarvana, the lunar calendar. The word Raksha means protection, and the wrist bandhan is a verb to tie. Traditionally, during this festival, sisters tie a rakhi, a bracelet made out of interwoven red and gold thread, around the brother's wrist to celebrate their relationship of protection. Happy Rakhi to all of you. Rakhi is on August 22nd this year. I'll be right back from these words from our sponsors.
Buying or selling a house is a difficult process. Get Brent Prakash from Saba Realty Limited to find you your dream home, whether it's your first house, upgrading, or investment property. Always at your service with a fast, friendly, and honest opinion. Brent Prakash will guide you through the entire process. Get in touch with him today for a free, no-obligation consultation at 778-840-5866. I understand how important it is to have a place called home, and it's frustrating using your hard-earned money on rent. Vic Prasad can make you a homeowner. Get pre-approved services provided to first-time buyers and new immigrants. You can qualify for mortgage even if you have bad credit. Call Vic Prasad now on 604-306-6647. Vic Prasad is associated with Craft Mortgages Canada Incorporated. I understand how important it is to have a place called home, and it's frustrating using your hard-earned money on rent. Vic Prasad can make you a homeowner. Get pre-approved services provided to first-time buyers and new immigrants. You can qualify for mortgage even if you have bad credit. Call Vic Prasad now on 604-306-6647. Vic Prasad is associated with Craft Mortgages Canada Incorporated.
Community Outreach Pharmacy, providing in-home pharmacy services.
This includes our specialized diabetes and blood pressure monitoring program,
Free blister packing, free deliveries, and an in-home injection service throughout the whole Lower Mainland.
Call us at 604-777-5601.
Welcome. Before I start the show and introduce my guest to you, I want to acknowledge that the land we are on, and this is Squamish, First Nations, Squamish, Silvertooth, and Quatland. This is unceded territory we are on, and we need to acknowledge that these people have allowed us as immigrants to be sharing the land with them. With that, my guest today has been here before, but she is a real activist in the community, and I invited her today. Her name is Eni Ohana. She is a teacher at LA Matheson, and she is here to talk about school being opening in next about 2 weeks on 7th of September. And to ask her, are the teachers ready? Are the parents ready to be back to the classroom what used to be in 2018 and 19? So welcome, my dear.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for taking the time to come on board and talk about, because this is an issue that we all hear about.
Yeah.
And I have seen you in the mainstream media.
Yeah.
Opposing to what's going to happen. So go ahead.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you for acknowledging the territories we stand on. And I am a settler, and I work in a settler colonial institution of education. So it's very important we acknowledge the role we need to play, right, in bringing truth and justice. Yeah, when it comes to schools, I mean, we just came off of a rally last Saturday, and we're actually planning another one for Surrey not too long from now. I wish I could say, I mean, we're all excited. Absolutely. We can't wait to return and perhaps return to maybe not exactly 2018, 2019, but hopefully not what we just went through. However, we say that because we hope that things go well. But with the rising case numbers, with the reality of what we're seeing around the world of people who are vaccinated still getting COVID, with unvaccinated having this whole entire pandemic of their own, we have serious concerns as educators. So far, we haven't heard much of a plan. And so our concern is that we're going to be forced back to 100%, which is very crowded. For some folks, they might not understand. You might work in a small workplace, but you're talking about hundreds, if not thousands of people in one building all the time, consistently, going different places. It's a very kind of chaotic model if you really think about it. So what happens if we don't have to wear masks? What happens if our ventilation systems aren't working? And what about our students that are made vulnerable and can't be in that building? Our special needs kids, those who are vulnerable through other forms of, illnesses, chronic health issues, right? Why, what happens with them? Will they have remote learning options? So to be honest, right now we're very trepidatious, and we're quite angry that we're not quite being listened to, because as much as we want to return, we want to do it in a safe way.
Right.
And that's where the question is: are we going to be safe? And is our government taking seriously the scientific evidence, the data that shows that right now COVID is still here? The fourth wave, Delta variant. I'm double vaccinated, proudly so. Thank you for the government and everybody else who did that work. But I can still transmit. I can still carry. I'm also vulnerable. So this is a question running through a lot of teachers' minds right now.
And also, like over 12 years old, they say it is mandatory for them to have the shots. And the people that are spreading and transmitting this virus are from 18 to 40.
Yes.
The ones that might just have one, and there is so many people, they don't believe in vaccination, and they might not have any. And this is where we are. I remember when the numbers were 49.
Yeah.
Right now it's over 700, just BC alone.
Yeah.
And we all are, this is 70% have both the vaccination. So what's going on?
Yeah, the great question. That's exactly our question. We're feeling like gaslit. Like it's this crazy idea that like twice now we've had these huge numbers.
Yes.
And nothing changes, even though there used to be a
Going up,
plan that supposedly would change. And they never changed the plan, even though the numbers were skyrocketing, in each wave. So yeah, May, June, thankfully, we were heading down.
Yes.
I know a lot of people felt a little bit of a sigh of relief, because I don't know what we would have done mental health-wise, physically, if we were still at 700 then. But we still had to wear our masks.
Yeah.
We still weren't allowed to congregate in large numbers. Like, there was a lot of rules in our school places. Now you're telling me we're back up to 700 something, and we're not going to have those same protections? I have to highlight too, elementary school teachers are incredibly concerned because most of their children, if not all of them, will not be vaccinated. Yeah. Also, and we're in Surrey right now, you think about the realities, and I mean this is across the world, but multi-generational families. A lot of our older kids have younger siblings.
Of course, yeah.
So COVID can still be present in the home. And you're right, not everybody's fully vaccinated yet, and that's going to take a while to get done. So we don't understand why it's so hard to say, okay, then just wear a mask. A full K-12 mandate, wear a mask at school. There's no negative repercussions. We're not going to kick kids out of school for not wearing masks. We're not going to, put something on their record. That's never happened before, and it will not happen in this case.
Right.
Our ventilation system, I don't know one parent that doesn't want their kid to go to a clean school.
Right.
We say clean air is a duty of care.
Yeah.
So, and infrastructurally speaking, some of our schools are newer, a lot of our schools are older. We need good ventilation system. Yeah. That's a must no matter what. Yeah. So let's actually invest in that infrastructure. And lastly, the idea that maybe there's almost no remote learning, God forbid we have outbreaks and we do have to switch models, we need to be prepared for that. And I know a lot of parents were not happy, and staff for that matter, that all of a sudden they had to switch everything overnight and things weren't prepared. People forget that at the start of last year, kids who were online had to wait. So what happened to that 2-week period of kids having to wait while everybody else was at school? So we've learned our lessons. Why don't we implement those changes? And I know they're working on a plan, but here we are, 2 weeks out, 2.5 weeks out. Why hasn't it been released yet? That does not give teachers enough time to prepare for going back to school, and neither does it parents.
And I also think a lot of parents are asking me, is the school going to be back to normal? No mask, no nothing. And then a lot of parents are concerned because the people are on vacation right now. Parents are on vacation, kids are on vacation. Wherever they go, they are not going out of country, but they are traveling within the province. And then why not delay this? Have a plan in place. Nobody has to be in the classroom on September 7th. And so the teachers education minister, everybody will have a chance that how could we keep the teachers safe and the kids safe in the classroom.
Absolutely.
And also the older buildings, in the summertime, you can open the windows.
Yeah.
Winter coming, everything has to be sealed.
Yeah.
So it all boils down to what kind of air we are breathing
Absolutely.
with no mask.
Absolutely, and that we should be tracking the air. So HEPA filters, carbon dioxide trackers, like we need to know what's going on so that we can best like prevent these things from happening. Teachers are done reacting. If you're always reacting, you just get tired and sick, and that's exactly what happened to teachers, right? And students as well.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I wish Minister Whiteside would speak to Minister Fleming and find out that last year when they gave us 2 days, what a disaster that was. I mean, admin were run off their feet, districts and teachers who had begged and prayed for at least a week to prepare. Well, here we are looking at a very hard start date when, again, major issues have yet to be resolved. I would say this, however, I know as a teacher for myself, I will be asking my kids to wear masks. And I don't feel it's correct to make teachers feel, or schools, or admin for that matter, that somehow they're wrong for doing more than what's necessary. Right? Like the basics didn't work for us at Ellie Matheson. We had endless notifications. We had at one point in that part of Surrey, 20% plus positivity rate. The government did not inform us of this. We found out kind of after the fact or as it was going on. And again, that was very angering to find out we were in such trouble and nobody really thought to, okay, let's change things. So I know for myself and for many teachers, we are going to try to be doing things, but we need the government's help with that. It's impossible just to do it by ourselves. We need the support of science and data and government to say, we believe in this. It's a public health, a public safety issue. That's the bottom line.
Right. So according to everything else, as you hear, school is going to be starting on the 7th.
Yes,
and there is no mask. Not mandatory mask. The kids will, whoever choose to wear a mask, they can.
Yes. I mean, that I think has always been. So as per the mandate before that we finally got, after spring break, I believe, grade 4 to June, exactly. Grade 4 to grade 12 was the mandate, but that leaves out all the unvaccinated folks. So I mean, things have changed, right? But you're right. It was never actually a mandate. It actually was never a mandate. I heard stories of different schools saying, well, no, you don't have to, right? Or people refusing to and kind of going from there. So, to my understanding, as we stand now on this Monday, full 100% back. And right now, no additional measures. I know for a fact as of June, the cleaning that we had before, the fogging and extra support that was hired, that's not coming back. Those are short-term contracts.
That's very irresponsible.
So here we are with the Delta variant, which is as transmissible as chickenpox. What's going to happen? So like I said, I know there's a plan coming, so we're waiting. We're waiting with bated breath, but to my understanding, it does not seem like it's going to be a very strong plan.
Don't you think this plan is a little bit too late now? By the time we are doing this interview, it's going to go on there. It's going to be less than 7 days before the school's going to be open. So if they really wanted to do it, they should have prepared everybody beginning of August or maybe take another September off.
You're 100% right, and that's exactly why we have parents and educators and other concerned citizens literally taking to the streets. We were at the Vancouver Art Gallery. We're going to be somewhere in Surrey in a little bit. Like, we literally feel we're not heard. So instead of us kind of breathing and taking a last minute, vacation break before we have to head back, we're spending endless hours trying to at least get our message out so that people push their MLAs and push our government and federally too. I mean, I know there's an election, but like really to say, please understand, like this is not enough time and you're not giving us enough information. And waiting till, again, I don't know when the plan is coming out, but waiting until like a week left or whatever it might be, it really lacks understanding and to me lacks nuance. Like, we need to be able to shift things on a dime. They asked us to do that last March, and we did it, right? We turned everything like on its head. How we taught, what we taught, everything changed. If you expect us to do that, the government should also be able to act that quickly. No one is going to be angry if you introduce a strong plan And then miracles of all miracles, the variant disappears. And you say, great, we don't need this, we don't need that anymore. Again, prevention is much better than reaction. None of us want to see a single case come September.
Right.
But schools in the States and other jurisdictions in the world are seeing a lot of cases.
Yeah.
How do you answer to parents that we thought you'd be okay? How about we just assume that something
And that
could
is
go
a
wrong?
question that the parents are asking.
Yeah.
Am I safe to send my children to school?
Yeah.
One may be in grade 3. The other one may be vaccinated, a 12 or 13-year-old.
Yeah.
Both of them, they run around, they play lunchtime, recess time together and all that. And then there is elderly parents living at home with compromised immune system and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, we have done best so far to be able to maintain as a country as progressive as Canada, but I think I think people are not getting it. We are not out of it.
Yeah, no.
It's a global pandemic. We are still in there.
Yeah, we're not out of it. It's like we know long-term COVID exists. I see it within friends of mine and staff, and so there is a reality that this is not just a cold or a flu that you just get over, and there are still people that are ending up in hospitals, etc. Right? We don't want to return to that, and you're right. We're still in it, and I wonder, like, the less we do, the longer this is going to take.
Yes.
If you are worried about your economy and all these other important things, then let's do more now.
Yeah.
So that hopefully, finally, we get to that spot. And I know vaccinations, Canada is the first in the world right now, which is amazing. But there's still like quite a number of folks that will be, kind of going around that are going to be incredibly vulnerable and will be able to, unfortunately, maybe have negative consequences if they refuse to get vaccinated. I think at the end of the day, your body, your choice. But as an educator, we have that role of like guardianship over our schools, over our students. So I know for myself, I want to see my government, who I am employed by, do the most possible to give protection to all kids. And I always say, if I wear my mask, it's for me, but it's for you as well.
Right.
So, I'm looking out for those that are unvaccinated. I'm looking out for those that, for some reason, can't wear a mask, right? And I have to say, if people don't realize, at Ellie Matheson, we had an amazing experience with our masks. Our kids were always wearing them. Rarely did you have to talk to anybody about not wearing a mask, right? And there was grace. Like, it's okay. Some people weren't wearing them for very specific reasons. That's not a problem.
So why is the government not giving people just the choice? I mean, in June we were wearing it. What will happen in the last 2 months? September came. Why is it that they say it's entirely up to you? Yeah. If you have asthma, bronchitis, can't breathe and all that, maybe you can take a mask down. But choice is yours.
Yeah.
But you cannot tell them, no, there will be no mask.
Yeah.
I mean, how could you speak for the kids?
I think, we'll see what the plan says, right? I would assume that hopefully, I guess the problem is this. The mandate is important because it allows district and teachers to, and everybody else for that matter, to say, here's the rule, right? And that's what I think we want, because leaving it up just to chance might be problematic, right? So I don't know. I hope they see that what they did before was not enough, because it doesn't include the K to 3s, right? But hopefully the understanding that if we do enough and we have it a strong enough language, then those people who can't wear it will feel comfortable, right? But also we realize that masks are that barrier that is necessary, right? It just is. At the end of the day, it's proven to be effective. And that's what we need to realize. And I know it's tough. I mean, can you imagine? I have to teach and, talk. And it's not fun. I wish I didn't have to. But I know it's better for mental health or physical health. Like, our kids feel safer. That's what they told us. They feel safer with the masks on. I was even telling kids, you want to do activities? Masks have to be on. And if we're going to return 100%, and borders are going to open, and a lot of stuff is going to happen, hopefully, to make things, better. In my classroom, in that crowded environment, because it's very crowded, masks are going to be the only way that we can have those different experiences in the classroom. If kids
The
are not
kids
masked,
will not have a choice
Yeah.
of hybrid learning like some people.
not as much, no.
Not
No.
as much.
No.
So most of them, there's going to be 30, 35 kids in a classroom where it's not well ventilated and all that.
Yeah.
One teacher and maybe one EA or something.
And that is something we're looking towards. We're going into a bargaining year,
Yeah.
and we constantly fight for class size and composition.
Yes.
And COVID proved just how crowded our classrooms is, how 30 is too big still,
Yeah.
because there we were truly struggling, right? And so we literally gave less education to some of our kids.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying teachers didn't work hard or we didn't cover the curriculum, we did everything. But the reality is, when you have to force kids out of a school because you realize it's too crowded, we have a problem with that when literal government officials can't admit that classrooms are not built
Right.
and they're too full to actually properly maintain distance. So that's a longer fight for us to do that. But hopefully we'll see that. That's another thing, lesson learned, best practices.
Yeah.
If COVID showed us that having 20 kids is much easier, then why not do that? Well, why not actually go that direction in the future? So whatever happens, it's a better education system, it's a safer education system, and it just makes more sense overall.
And talk about portables.
Yes, oh gosh, yeah.
That's another day for another topic.
Yeah, that's
to,
yeah,
to,
yeah.
to talk
Yeah,
about that. More and more portables are coming when there is no proper ventilation or nothing, and it's not a very healthy learning environment. So those people that are watching you today, and I think the parents, mostly and the kids too, a lot of them they watch as well. What would you like to say? I mean, they are getting ready, getting shopping, getting the new backpacks and shoes and everything.
I hope they're excited to be back. I know we are. And I want them to know that if they're seeing things on the news, like your teachers are talking and parents are talking and you're seeing us rally and do all these kinds of things, we're trying to make sure we're going to make your school a safe experience. That's the bottom line. We hope that no matter what the government announces or doesn't announce, that we respect each other, we respect our communities, we want to keep each other safe, we have that love for one another.
Yes.
That, if I want to be healthy, I need to keep you healthy. So I do hope that if we need masks, like if the cases still continue as they are, the Delta variant's still around, please wear your mask. And please, to the parents, talk to your MLAs. Talk to your school officials around, what is happening in terms of filtration systems and ventilation. Don't be afraid to ask those questions and to demand for remote learning opportunities if you feel that your child cannot be in our buildings. But we're going to continue to fight. And at the end of the day, you can do more. We can all do more. But we also want to push for systemic changes. So it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks, and hopefully we'll find a way to do this in a healthy and safe way. So right now, buy your school supplies, do all the things you need to do, and maybe write an email to an MLA while you're at that. And let's hope that we come to September 7th, and somehow there's a plan in place that will keep everybody safe.
Even the teachers can do so much, and they are doing whatever they can because they are the employees. I think the parents, as parents, grandparents, we have a bigger and a stronger voice because we are the taxpayers. We are the one with these, school boards and things like that. We should be more proactive if we are concerned about a children's education. This may not be here for too long, but right now is here, and we cannot deny that. And even both of us are vaccinated, both the vaccination. I will not walk out of here without having my mask.
Yes.
Because that's giving me extra layer of protection for me. And I just feel for the children that need to have masks, and then they will not, that's not going to be enforced in the school. Thank you so much
Not
for
a problem, my pleasure.
coming in and talking to our parents, talking to the children,
Yeah.
and the great job that you are doing. You are the voice of so many parents, children, everyone involved.
And I have to say, there's many like me and many more, and that's, we know as teachers we have a very foundational role to play, and we don't just open a textbook and teach. That's not at all what we do. Come visit my classroom if you want to learn more, but absolutely, I think it's up to us to, we say, who keeps us safe? We keep us safe.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line. But we includes the government as well, right? And so that's the bottom line. We have to make sure that protection is always there. We shouldn't have to wait until people are dying or in hospitals or ICUs are full, as we're seeing in the States, before anything is done.
Yeah.
It's been more than a year and a half.
Yeah.
Talk about education. Have we learned anything? That's my question to the government. What have you learned? Right? Because we've learned a lot.
Yeah.
What have you learned? And how will that affect the policies you put forward? And you're right, taxpayer dollars.
Yeah.
You know, make sure your money is well spent and it's spent to protect you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
So one set is
Yep.
The Fiji Disaster Society is holding a plow drive on August 22nd at 8927 152 Street in Surrey from 12 noon until 5 p.m. This drive is to support of raising funds for people in Fiji who are suffering from the COVID-19 pandemic. If you want to donate or help with the fundraiser, get your plow tickets by calling Camilla Singh at 604-537-5123 or Arshad Khan at 604-841-5451 or Anita Reddy at 604-831-0240. The Fiji's 51st Independence Day is taking place on October 9th at Kunda Banquet Hall in Surrey. For tickets or for more information, please call Kevin at 604-562-4569 or Camilla Singh at 604-537-5123. The Canadian Federation of Fiji Organization is holding their 2021 Community Awards Gala on Sunday, October 24th, 2021. For more information on forms or tickets, visit our website at www.cfofo.ca.